The Ninja at Six Flags St. Louis is one of the most notoriously terrible roller coasters ever created. It's notorious for how bumpy and rough and just generally uncomfortable of a ride it is. But I disagree with this sentiment. I find the Ninja at Six Flags St. Louis to be an actually enjoyable experience, and in this review I'm going to explain why. Let's first start by talking about the Ninja statistics. The Ninja opened at the park in 1989, but it originally was built for the 1986 Expo in Vancouver, Canada. The Ninja has a top speed of 54.7 miles per hour and a max height of 108.3 feet. The coaster is manufactured by both Aerodynamics and Vekoma taking over after Aerodynamics went bankrupt midway through the project. Through the layout, you traverse 2,427.8 feet of track and go through 4 inversions. The layout itself is not super unique. Once you leave the station, you take a small left-hand turn and begun up the lift hill. Once you reach the top of the lift, you take a small pre-drop, which is followed by a right-hand turn. After the turn, you go into the main drop of the ride, which gives shockingly good airtime in the back row. Following that drop is a loop and then a sidewinder. This sidewinder is the reason that the ride's reputation is so terrible. The transition out of the sidewinder is one of the worst and most rough moments on any roller coaster out there. But if you know what's coming, you can brace for it, and if you're bracing for it, it's not that bad at all. But if you're not bracing for it, your head will play pinball with the over-the-shoulder restraints. That transition takes you into a small helix, which then takes you into the mid-course brake run. Following that is a small banked right-hand turn. That turn transitions rather roughly into a double corkscrew. The corkscrew itself is a standard aero corkscrew, and while it is sort of rough, it's not really that bad. After the corkscrew, you take a right-hand turn into one of the best moments on the ride, that being the low-to-the-ground finale helix. This ride definitely has a few rough spots, but once you know to be ready for them, it's not that bad at all. Really, I'd say that the Ninja's biggest issue isn't that it's rough, but rather that it's just boring. The layout doesn't do anything interesting or noteworthy apart from the first drop, but that first drop alone makes going on this ride completely worth it. If you're in the back row, the airtime on this first drop is stronger than basically anything else in the entire park. Whenever I'm at Six Flags St. Louis, I find myself riding the Ninja multiple times just for that drop. That being said, it is definitely the weakest coaster in the park, and is just generally a weak coaster overall. Because of that, I'm gonna give the Ninja at Six Flags St. Louis a 5 out of 10. If you're at Six Flags St. Louis, don't let this ride's reputation convince you not to ride it. While it may not be the most interesting or noteworthy attraction at the park, it is definitely worth a try, and as an added bonus, there is never a line for this ride. Somewhere that does have lines, however, is Six Flags Great America, and if you want to know what the best coasters at that park is, I have a top 10 right here.